Today, I'll talk a little bit about Levelfield's approach to writing. We earlier talked about reading and talked about math. Now, parents often ask me, how do we do writing in the school? Some parents, though, when they ask me about writing and when I tell them that, yeah, Levelfield students do their writing very well, they have even won prizes and their articles written by them have come in the newspapers and stuff. Then later on, I realized that they are not talking about writing and composition. They are talking about handwriting. Now, that's a different thing. Handwriting as a skill is becoming a little obsolete in the modern world. It has value because in the board exams, you still have to write with your hand. But a lot of writing in the current world happens by typing. Anybody who is writing anything, I mean, if you're communicating by email or if you are an aspiring author trying to write a book, everybody uses the word processing software and typing to write. So, leaving aside handwriting for a while, let us talk about true writing and composition. Now, about writing and composition, our approach is again quite unique. I believe that a lot of reading feeds into writing. So, if students read a lot, if they read lots of storybooks, magazines, non-fictions, now various types of sentence structures, a lot of vocabulary becomes part of you. You imbibe those, and when you have to summon them, when you are trying to express something, something to writing, those things come to you. Now, if you are not really an avid reader, then you cannot be a strong writer as well. Now, some might ask that what is the place of grammar in writing? Should grammar be taught from the early years? So, I would like you to consider the question of, let's say, a newborn baby as it is picking up a language, its mother tongue. That time we don't teach a newborn baby any grammar, right? Newborn baby naturally picks up language. Similarly, if you think about so-called uneducated or illiterate people, they speak between each other with proper grammatical rules only in their mother tongue. They do not have to be formally taught the grammar rules. So language acquisition process for human beings is a natural process. Grammar is something which has come later. It has been derived or it has been reverse engineered. So as much as possible, if we can follow the natural process in language acquisition rather than trying to tell students the rules first, it will be better. So in terms of speaking, it is better to get better for the students to hear English as much as possible. In terms of writing, it is better for them to read as much as possible and pick up from a vast amount of reading what is correct and what is not, rather than being formally taught the rules right away. Maybe the rules can be taught after a while, after they have read a lot, maybe a little bit later in the middle school to senior school. Then, based on a vast amount of reading that they have already done, based on the vast amount of language they have already heard, then the rules start making sense to them. So, grammar should come later, not in the beginning. So, as a result of this heavy focus on reading and this natural way of acquiring language, our students write quite well, write independently. By the time they're in class 4 5, they can already independently answer questions from the chapters that they read in the school. So there is no memorization required, there is no prior preparation required. So they just read some story and we give them some questions and they write answers. So all of that they do in our internal platform called Ink. Let me show you some demonstration of that. So this is the admin side of our Ink platform. Here all the questions are listed. The questions that are going to come are here. The questions that have already been done by the students are here. So you can see a large number of questions. Some questions are coming from the chapters, the stories that they have read. For example, this question is coming from the chapter they have read. And we can see the answers that the students have written, all the answers together. we can open any of those answers and read the answers and rate the answers and give a feedback. Students on their side, after writing the answer, they also write something called a reflection. So in that, they reflect upon what mistakes they made, what are the gaps in their answer. Okay. And in that, they're aided by something called an example answer given by the school. So for the same question, school also provides an answer which they get to see after they have finished writing, and then they're supposed to reflect upon what they could have learned from the structure or the points of the example answer and where they missed out. So this constant reflection after writing any answer, when they reflect upon things, that enhances their learning. On this platform, there are questions on all sorts of topics. You can see this is an economics question about money supply. The questions that you saw on the stories of chapters, those can be considered either English or history question. This is just an English writing composition question where they have to write an essay about a possible speech. We can also see questions on history, this one. We can see question on physics. We can see another question on economics. So different classes are writing different questions, all of which is coming to us, and we check them from our side. In addition to writing all the questions and answers, they also write something called a daily reflection. Reflect upon what you have learned at the school today. So we believe that at the end of the school day, if they sort of think about what they have learned today and put that in writing, not only their writing skills are enhanced, the learning also gets more deeply imbibed. So this is the reflection that they write, and the whole bunch of classes from 25 graduating batch to 32 graduating batch, which means from grade 5 to 12, write this. This is one of their favorite activity. They almost sort of talk to us through this reflection writing. This is another, continuous practice of writing that they get in the school. So this is the admin side of our Ink platform. From the student side, it looks like this. So they get to see the questions. These are the archived questions. These questions they have already done. They get to see their average ratings. On the answers, somebody has got this 3.5 stars on the average. Reflection, 3.2 stars out of 5 basically. Daily reflections, which is separately rated, 3.7 star. These are the questions. Questions are not being shown completely here. It's just a coded version of the question so as to maintain confidentiality for the future batches. This is the person's answer. This is the person's reflection, and these are the ratings that this person can see, and feedback, if any, will appear here. Writing is a very important activity. As you write, you get completely immersed in an activity. As you are thinking about your day and writing about it, you become more introspective. If you're writing about a topic, the learning from that topic crystallizes a lot more in your mind. So writing is a key component in learning, and in Levelfield, we very heavily prioritize it. I hope I could give you a glimpse of how writing is done at Levelfield through this video. Thank you for watching.